Coming from Newsweek, Donald Trump announces national park with statues of greatest Americans. Here we go with this bullshit again. Donald Trump has resurrected plans to create a national garden of American heroes with statues paying tribute to 250 historically significant Americans ahead of the country's quarter-millennial anniversary. I signed an executive order to resume the process of creating a new national park full of statues of the greatest Americans who ever lived, the president said during his Thursday morning speech at the National Prayer Breakfast, referencing a directive signed last week. There's a catch. There's always a catch. There's always a catch. Who will be in Trump's Heroes Garden? Trump previously ordered the creation of the National Garden of American Heroes in the final days of his first term, having announced the idea and solicited suggestions for who should feature months earlier. The final list contained 244 names, one for each year since the country's founding, of those who embodied the American spirit of daring and defiance, excellence and adventure, courage and confidence, loyalty and love. Loyalty to who? But let's get into some of these names. It featured icons across various fields, including athletes like Muhammad Ali, Kobe Bryant, and Babe Ruth. Musicians like Louis Armstrong, Miles Davis, and Johnny Cash. Literary and cultural luminaries like Hannah Arendt and Walt Whitman, as well as other pioneering Americans such as Amelia Earhart and Neil Armstrong. And how many Trump statues? And Trump wants to put together a garden with so many black people featured? Andrew Jackson and Christopher Columbus, historically recognized for their mistreatment of Native Americans, are listed alongside influential Native American figures such as Sitting Bull and Sacagawea. The fuck did Christopher Columbus do other than get lost, fuck animals, and fuck over... You know what? Multiple abolitionists and civil rights champions were also included, such as Martin Luther King Jr., Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, and Harriet Beecher Stowe, as well as the founding fathers themselves, whose statues Trump said had been desecrated. The list includes numerous lawmakers and presidents, such as Ronald Reagan and John F. Kennedy. Reagan? Of course. The president's recent executive order reviving his planned park stated that an additional 6 names would be suggested to him by Assistant to the President of Domestic Policy Vince Haley to bring the total number of heroes to 250. Trump, you haven't put together your own presidential library. But okay. What to know? Congress didn't get funding for the park, and plans for the National Garden of American Heroes were swiftly axed by when Joe Biden took office. Trump's recent executive order stated that the park should be constructed as expeditiously as possible, amending the phrasing of the 2021 directive, which said this should be done prior to the 250th anniversary of the proclamation of the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 2026. Before y'all go, oh, he's trying to do something great. I need you all to understand something that I've said multiple times. There are people that understand how history will view them and how they will be written in. There are a lot of horrific people in United States history that people look upon favorably because of the things that are pushed the most in history books and in conversations regarding history, because they knew to leave those things behind, so that would be the focal point. I thought we were past revising and whitewashing history. What people are saying. Belief in the greatness and goodness of America has come under attack in recent months and years by a dangerous anti-American extremism that seeks to dismantle our country's history, institutions, and very identity, Trump wrote in the January 2021 executive order, which followed a summer marked by the toppling of several statues linked to America's history of slavery. This is why I say it. He's really going to put forth a garden featuring so many non-Euro Americans? Because this was a response to history being corrected. People were pissed off that statues that were never to be erected were being removed. The Confederates that you love to tout and claim it's patriotism, I don't know how it's patriotism, that you're praising and paying homage to traitors of another country, said to never erect statues in their honor. They knew that they were treasonous. But the power of the pardon removed that from the psyche, I guess. The National Guard is America's answer to this reckless attempt to erase our heroes' values and entire way of life, the order continued. Are you getting what they're doing to make America great again? We're going to be honoring our heroes, honoring the great people from our country, Trump said on Thursday. We're not going to be tearing down, we're going to be building up. As you're tearing down the federal government. James Grossman, executive director of the American Historical Association, told the Washington Post in 2020 that Trump's provisional list of honorees ranged from odd to probably inappropriate to provocative, and suggested that historians should have been consulted when drafting the selection. You're not going to be. So stop holding your breath. What happens next? As well as the establishment of the park, the January 29th order outlines the creation of a White House task force, or Task Force 250, which will be chaired by the president and convene regularly to plan celebrations for America's 250th birthday. It's amazing that we have a president that has all this free time. He has all this time to be on social media, all this free time to chit-chat with his wannabe buddies all around the globe, and to head all of these committees. So much time. Trump also reinstated Executive Order 13933, which aimed at increasing the response from the federal government to acts of vandalism against monuments, memorials, and statues. But not graves. And I'm sure this will not encapsulate, memorials to Emmett Till or Fred Hampton. Anywho, let me know your thoughts in the comments.